Hi, I'm Todd, the owner of Dakota Angler here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, with this week's 2-minute fishing report. Well, the recent string of nice weather has continued into this week, and a lot of people were able to get out and enjoy that weather this past weekend. Probably the busiest weekend of ice fishing season so far. That's not saying much because we've had a very short season so far. And with the warmer weather that we've been having, and also the lack of snow cover in some areas, that has really ate away from the ice around the shores. And so that has caused some of the accesses to really fall apart and have caused some issues like Big Stone. Even Thompson have had issues around the area. So not only is the access having issues, but also the ice thickness still varies out there, folks. So again, I tell you to always exercise caution. I've always said that there's no such thing as safe ice. You always have to be cautious, and this year is no different. I would say it's amplified that much more. So the main thing that you need to make sure of is know the thickness that you're standing or driving on as you go out on that body of water, and realize when you're dealing with a warm day, the ice conditions that you have in the morning are not going to be the same that you have in the afternoon. As far as the fishing report is concerned around the area, the bites started picking up late last week and into the early part of the weekend. But then once the weekend hit, it seemed like once the crowd got on the lakes, it started to kind of shut down a little bit. But there's still some lakes that are producing walleyes around the area. Up in the northeastern part of the state, those lakes included Walleyes, Bitter, Goose, Indian Springs, Dry Lake by Clark, North and South Rush, Opitz, Reed, as well as Big Stone. Down the southeastern part of the state, the lakes included Poncet, Dry Lake by Willow Lake, and Thompson. Those three were doing pretty good there in the Poncet, especially up in the north end. Other lakes included Sinai, Whitewood, 81 Ponds, a few being caught at Henry, as well as Vermilion, and then also Twin Lakes. And remember, Twin is the trophy lake where you can only keep one walleye if it's 28 inches or larger. Now, what have people been doing to catch those walleyes? It seems like a lot of search baiting going on. In other words, a lot of calling in of fish. The rattle baits work really well. A lot of people have been using the coffin spoon from Northland, and also all the new Super Glow colors by Northland on all their jigs especially their spoons, have been working really well. And it's mainly because of that nocturnal bite, so keep that in mind. Other people are also using a little bit more aggressive bait, such as the jigging wrap or even the Acme Hyper Rattle, and that has been working well, and especially with the Hyper Rattle, with that a little bit of that rattle, kind of combines both those presentations, and it's been working quite well. Now, as far as the perch bite is concerned around the area, it's been picking up quite a bit, to say the least, and I think a lot of people are happy about that. The lakes that produce perch included Big Stone, and Big Stone is one of those lakes that are still, again, having quite a bit of problems with the access up there, so keep that in mind. Other lakes included Walleyes, Bitter, Pius, also some of the smaller sloughs around northeastern South Dakota, and then Poncet, Thompson, and Whitewood. Now, what have people been doing to catch the perch around the area? Nothing special. A lot of small tungsten jigs, a lot of VMC bull spoons. A lot of people have been having a lot of luck with them, so keep that in mind. Also, the Clam Pinhead Minnow Pro have been working well. Also, just the Pilkies have also been working well, just tipped with a wax worm or a mega at that same time. So again, I think all these different presentations will work this week, but I think there's going to be also something different next week, and it's going to be up to you to figure out what it is. In this week's edition of Todd's Tackle Tips, we're going to talk about cameras and the importance of cameras and the different uses of cameras, because a lot of times they're probably one of the most misunderstood pieces of equipment that you can use out on the ice, or throughout the entire season. Because if you buy a camera, you're not only going to want to use it during the ice season, you're going to want to use it year round. The first thing is to make sure everyone understands is that camera isn't only a toy, and I say only a toy because there are going to be times when you're going to use it as that, not only to entertain your kids that you may have with you, but also to entertain yourself. All of us love to watch fish on a camera. And really, when you decide to make that purchase, you have to decide what type of camera you're going to go with. And I'm not just talking about manufacturer, like I'm talking the difference between a Markham or an Aquaview, but I'm talking about one that's going to be more portable, one that you can hold in your hand, like the 722, or any of the micro cameras, if you will. And if you want to be portable with it, that's the way to go. You can use that as a scouting mechanism and hole hop with it, versus one that's going to be a standalone, where you can sit it on the ice and fish off of it right from that. I myself have both of them. The reason why is that I have one of these attached to my depth finder, and so I'm looking at the depth finder and the camera at the same time, and I can use that same unit when I'm out there scouting. But I also have one standalone that I can use that just to fish off of if I want to put it in between myself and my partner that's with me at that point in time in my shack. So there are a number of different models, but the whole thing is you got to find one that's important for your price point. Why do you want to have a camera? Honestly, folks, it's one of the best ways to watch how the fish react to your presentations. Now, live scopes are definitely replacing these, and how you can see the instantaneous reaction of that fish. However, if you can't afford a live scope, and not many people can, the camera is a great option because it's going to teach you everything that you need to know about how that fish reacts to your presentation, whether or not you need to slow it down, whether or not you need to change it, whether or not you even need to change bait. That type of presentation will show you what you need to learn from that presentation at that point in time. Also, a lot of our perch around here and a lot of our fish are very light biting. And so many times a perch will, or any type of fish, let's say a panfish, will bite that jig and not even move that bobber, especially if you're fishing with a bobber. It may not even move it, and all of a sudden it's gone. It spits it out before you can even have a chance to set the hook. With the camera, you're going to be able to watch that fish inhale that bait, and then when you're seeing that fish inhale the bait, you set the hook, and you got your fish. So it's a great way to increase your catch rate, but it's a great educational tool, not only to help you learn more about how to catch more fish, but it also help everyone else around you to learn a little bit more as well. There are a number of different cameras out there, different price points, different bells and whistles, if you will. But if you're interested in the market for a camera this year, make sure you stop on by here at the store because all our cameras are on sale right now, and we use them ourselves, as I just mentioned. And so we'll be able to tell you all the ins and outs of each one of the models and help narrow down your search a little bit better for you. Now it's time to take a look at a few photos that you sent in to me this past week. And remember, folks, if you'd like your photo included in next week's version of the 2-Minute Fishing Report, all you have to do is send me your photo, send it to Todd at dakotaangler.com, and who doesn't like to brag? Here's the chance to do it. Send me your photo. And before we end this week's report, I want to remind you folks that, it seems like a little bit more like spring out there than what it should be this time of year. But, got to enjoy the nice weather while we can. And it's still ice fishing season. And also to keep in mind that all of our ice fishing gear is on sale. Like all the shacks that you see around, behind me and around me, anything from otter, clam, Eskimo, all is on sale. So stop on by. You can see we have a full lineup of shacks here at Dakota Angler. If you have any questions about what those shacks are, you can go to our website at dakotaangler.com or stop by here at the store, or feel free to give us a call at 605-336-9132. But not only the shacks, but all the electronics, augers, you name it, anything ice fishing related is going to be on sale. So again, please stop on by. Well, folks, that's this week's version of the 2-Minute Fishing Report for Dakota Angler. I'm the owner, Todd Heitkamp, and as we say around here, fish on! We'll see you next week, and again, thanks for watching. Stay healthy, and always stay safe.